And welcome to V.O.T.D. Today's verse is Amos 7:7-8. This is what he showed me. The Lord was standing by a wall that had been built true to plumb, with a plumb line in his hand. And the Lord asked me, "What do you see, Amos?" "A plumb line," I replied. Then the Lord said, "Look, I am setting a plumb line among my people, Israel. I will spare them no longer." Now the first question you might ask, unless you've gone to the same Bible study I have or you know it from elsewhere, is what is a plumb line? And so let me ask you this question first. How did the people in ancient times build houses that were proportional, that were not bending over and falling over down on them? How did they make sure the walls were straight? And the answer is they did that with a plumb line. A plumb line was basically a heavy object suspended from a string. And then they would put this string thing next to the wall, and if it was straight next to the wall, then that meant the wall was perfectly straight. It was kind of like the ancient equivalent of a level for us. And so what God was saying was that the people didn't measure up to his standards, and none of us do. Have you ever tried building something or trying to make something straight just by sight? Like when you're writing something on a wall, or it always seems, at least for me, to wind up going all diagonal. And it's never been perfectly straight on a wall unless I use a ruler or something like that. And so that's what kind of is the way sin works. No matter how hard we try, no matter what we do, our walls are still crooked. Even if we try tearing them down and starting over again, we're just building it by sight. We don't have that. And even when we have the plumb line, it seems like we still just build it crooked. That's why Jesus had to come. That's why when he came, he was perfectly to plumb. He measured up perfectly. And that's why he could take the punishment for not being true to plumb upon himself. Because if a house was not built to code, then it was torn down. I know that there's been several houses, when you inspect them, where they're torn down. And so Jesus took the punishment upon himself because he could. He didn't have to worry about his own punishment. And that's how we can live. And when we let him live inside us, he can rebuild us from the inside out. And that's what the truly amazing thing is. And so that's what really jumped out at me about this verse. So don't keep rebuilding yourself, trying to find a wall that's straight enough, a way that works enough, because you can't. Let Jesus into your heart, let him rebuild you, and then you'll find that you're a lot straighter.